Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. A special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com and on TVJ International in the Cayman Islands. Here's what we have in the bulletin.
St. Elizabeth Parish Manager expressed disappointment and attack on vectors. Suspected goat thief chopped to death. And later in sports, Jamaica's Mount Pleasant evades Universidad in the first leg of the CONCACAF Caribbean Cup this evening.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Carrie Simpson. Here are the details. Up first this afternoon, a parish manager for the St. Elizabeth Health Department, Sean Brissett, says he is disappointed at last week's attack on vector control workers in Silo. The team was carrying out their duties when they were stoned, leaving 2 workers injured.
They were there. They stopped to repair one of the swing foggers when they were hit by stones. One was hit in the left shoulder, the other one in the right. We have since taken them to the doctor. We have reported the matter to the police, and I personally have had a conversation with them. And despite this kind of traumatic experience, they were in high gear, high spirit, and have decided to go back to work.
Mr. Brissett is appealing to the public not to obstruct the vector control workers who are on the front line.
After the storm, it is important that we do the level of larvicidal and adulticidal work to prevent and to reduce mosquito breeding sites and to prevent vector-borne diseases. My understanding is that it has happened in that community at least once before, not long ago. So it seems as if this may have been a trend, and we just need to appeal to the community that look, they are not there to hurt anybody, they are there to save lives.
The St. Anne Health Department is urging residents to take precautions with water storage and use in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. The department is also reporting the emergence of a potentially dangerous species of mosquito in the parish and is advising the public to take all necessary protective measures. Shamila Pullen reports.
So far, St. Anne has not reported a case of water or foodborne illness in the weeks following the passage of Hurricane Melissa. However, Chief Public Health Inspector Leroy Scott says there has been an increased demand for transported water due to ongoing disruptions in the regular supply. As a result, Mr. Scott is urging residents to exercise caution with water storage and handling while the department works to stabilize distribution.
We are reminding persons collecting, distributing, or receiving water for drinking, food preparation, and cleaning that it must be obtained from reputable sources. If you are not certain of the source or the safety of the water, it is advisable to do treatment by either boiling or by using household bleach for treatment at a ratio of 2 drops of bleach into each liter of water.
Mr. Scott noted that while food safety remains stable, the department is placing heightened focus on vector-borne disease prevention. He said that inspectors have been observing mosquito breeding in areas that previously had little or no such activity.
These are not the household mosquitoes which we are accustomed to seeing breeding in containers or hiding in your closets or behind your doors. These are Culex species that breed in stagnant water, in drains, clogged drains and ponds, in accumulated tree leaves and debris following the storm, and they attack in swarms, perch on your ceiling and on your walls, and when they bite, they refuse to leave.
He says the health department has already intensified surveillance and control measures to reduce the risk of outbreaks.
Many of these breeding sites will never be located because of the diverse and unusual nature of the breeding sites. But for those that we can identify, it will help if each of us help to clear debris from the blocked drains that are armed for a normal runoff of storm water, as well as clear fallen trees and debris from our own spaces. Our intervention including assessment and larvicidal treatment, oiling of temporary water bodies and accumulation, will for the next 5 weeks include a 3-day daily fogging schedule.
Shamela Pullen, TVJ News.
With water supplies still disrupted across sections of St. Elizabeth after Hurricane Melissa, one institution has stepped forward to fill the gap. Details in this report. St. Elizabeth Technical High School STEDS has stepped up to supply hundreds of residents and nearby businesses with potable water. The school, which houses one of the largest and most reliable water storage systems in the parish, opened its facilities to the public just days after the storm passed.
After the hurricane, the two essential services that nobody had was water and light. We know that for you to do any form of cleaning up and just to maintain good health, water is an essential part of everyday living. At States, we are fortunate enough to be able to supply our own water.
Principal of STEDS, Keith Wellington, said after the hurricane, there was no electricity to power the pumps to supply water to the community, but soon after help came.
We were lucky enough to have a past student as well as Ramesh from Ramesh Entertainment lend us 2 generators so we could pump water. So we felt that it was important that we made good use of those gestures by supplying those persons in the community who needed water. So for the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks since the hurricane, we have been supplying the community, supplying the businesses, the fire stations, the clinics, the schools, everybody who needs water, we've been able to supply them during that period and therefore help with just the daily activities of each of those persons, as well as the general cleaning up of the town of Santa Cruz by providing water to the contractor to wash the town.
Residents told our news team they are grateful for the school support.
We feel good. It's like a blessing because we don't know where we'd go. We don't know where we'd go.
Don't have to join a long line, you know, and the access is very easy. By the time I get here, the water is flowing very freely. The line is very short.
Mr. Wellington says the decision was easy as the aim is to help the community rebound as soon as possible.
I haven't even thought about how do I feel. I just think that it is an important gesture, and it's important that as a school who is an important part of the community, that we do what we can to support the community, and that has been our intent right through this period. We are trying our very best to make sure that we play our part in ensuring that the community rebounds quickly.
In the meantime, the National Water Commission says operation has been restored at the Burn Savannah Well, Ben Lamont Spring and Bogwell facilities. A man suspected to be involved in a goat stealing ring was found dead on the Hermitage Main Road in Davistown last night. The body of the unidentified man had chop wounds. The St. Anne Operational Support Team reportedly received a call about 11:15 that the body of a man was seen on the roadway. When the police arrived, 2 goats were found tied near to the body, one on the right foot of the suspect and another on a light post. The police are investigating. Over in Westmoreland, an unidentified man was shot and killed by the police along the Londilo Main Road in Savlamar. TVJ News understands that during a national coordinated roadblock operation, the vehicle, upon approaching the police, was signaled to stop. It's further understood that the driver disobeyed and allegedly attempted to mow down the police officers. The lawman took evasive action and the man was shot. The incident happened sometime after 11 p.m. Sunday. He was rushed to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Indicom was informed and is investigating. A crash along Pond Side in Yallas Sunday morning left several passengers injured. TVJ News understands that around 9 a.m., a black van exiting a lane collided with a motor car traveling in the same direction. The occupants of the motor car, along with the driver of the van, were rushed to hospital for treatment. The police are investigating. It is now time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. Some businesses are now planning their next step after the Bank of Jamaica's latest policy decision. The BOJ has kept its policy rate at 5.75% as inflation pressures continue to rise following the passage of Hurricane Melissa. Speaking on the morning agenda on Power 106, economist Keenan Faulkner and MSME Alliance President Antoinette Hamilton said the decision came as no surprise.
Not really surprised, and not also surprised because, for the last year, the BOJ has been reducing its policy interest rate, and the commercial banking sector has not been responding.
Mr. Faulkner added that the BOJ's benchmark rate of 5.75% is still high when compared to more relaxed monetary conditions in other markets.
5% is the rate that would be paid by banks on overnight deposits at the bank, central bank. So that means that if the bank needs to pay that to the BOJ, then they're going to charge higher rates than 5.75%. So to the customer. So that would mean 6, 7, 8, 9, as far as, 11, 12% in some instances.
Ms. Hamilton, however, argues that more flexible financial policies could help drive growth.
I'm not convinced that the banking system will go out and say, well, we're going to be offering lower interest rates. What I will say to business owners who are in a situation right now, to approach the bank and work out a plan with them to see if you can get a payment holiday or some other relief. Don't wait until the loan goes bad.
It's now time for the Business Minute.
The Bank of Jamaica has kept its benchmark interest rate unchanged, but announced special measures to stabilize the foreign exchange market as it moves to contain an inflation following Hurricane Melissa. After meetings on November 20 and 21, the Central Bank's Monetary Policy Committee, MPC, voted unanimously to hold the policy rate at 5.75% per annum. That is the rate paid to deposit-taking institutions on their current account balances at the BOJ. The committee said the decision was taken in the context of the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa and the severe hardship and dislocation facing many Jamaicans. Further afield, today is the start of the Thanksgiving travel period. AAA forecasts a record-setting holiday stretch between now and Monday. It projects almost 82 million people will venture at least 50 miles from home. That would beat last year's record. It predicts almost 90% of people will drive, about 6 million will fly, and less than half of that will choose other transportation. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Prince Moore.
Thank you, Prince. Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, police in Trinidad and Tobago have intercepted illegal narcotics hidden in barrels shipped from the United States. Officers conducted a targeted search at the Port of Spain after receiving credible intelligence. Inside one of the barrels, they found more than 4.6 kilograms of high-grade cannabis concealed under clothing with an estimated street value of 400,000 Trinidadian dollars. No arrests were announced, but police say they're working with local and international partners to disrupt the drug trade and protect communities. And on the international scene, a once-in-300-year storm has slammed southern Thailand, triggering massive floods that have killed at least 19 people. Floodwaters climbed more than 8 feet, cutting off access to a hospital maternity ward caring for 30 newborns. 9 provinces remain underwater, affecting more than 127,000 households. Emergency crews are racing to deliver supplies as authorities work to drain the floodwaters into nearby rivers and the Gulf of Thailand. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Aaliyah Bryant.
And we take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report.